it was something what made me think about to belong to a group. There's, I just belong to a part of a group, so, because in Hanover, this is capital from Lower Saxony, where I grew up, there were a few Moroccan families. So I never belonged to the Turkish people. I never belonged to the Spanish people. I never belonged to the Italian, and neither to the German people. So that was not my group. I was just sometimes a part of this group. And then I saw in the armed forces, from this movie, I saw it doesn't matter what kind of background you have, it doesn't matter. So you follow only your order and your mission. And then first time I had the idea that I will join the armed forces.
Welcome to One in Tribe. My guest today was born in Germany as part of the first generation of what is often referred to as the guest worker families. Nariman Hamouti has been serving in the German Armed Forces since 2005. Over the years, she has taken part in multiple deployments, including missions in Afghanistan and as a UN military observer in South Sudan. For Nadi, this is not just a job, but a true calling. While she carries a strong connection to her Arab roots, Germany is her home. Welcome, Nadi, to One in Tribe.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here. So, Nadi, I always like to start at the beginning. Tell us a little bit about where you're from, where your family's from.
Okay, so I would say now, very important now, I'm German with Moroccan roots. My parents are from Morocco, from the eastern part of Morocco. My father was born in Oujda, and my mother was born in Berkane. That is on the Mediterranean side of Morocco. Morocco is between two seas, and the Mediterranean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean, and my parents are from the Mediterranean side.
And so, just for our audience to know, Morocco is obviously in Africa, but it is part of the MENA region, the 22 Arab nations that belong to the MENA region. What made your family move to Germany?
So it was still under French control during that time. My father moved out from Morocco. His first destination, because he was one of a part of the followers from the former Sultan, later King of Morocco, Mohammed V. His first destination was Corsica, then Madagascar, and after that all, he moved to France, next to the Italian border. So you can see he speaks. He was speaking a lot of languages, and when he was in France, he didn't feel so comfortable. He was a part of the movement against the French occupation in Morocco. So he did his basic training. When he finished his basic training, the French left Morocco. The French occupation ended. And then he didn't want to stay in France because of the history. The Moroccans do not like French people that much. From that generation, my father was one of them. And so he moved to Germany. Germany was searching for guest workers, so he started to work there.
And what does that mean, guest worker?
So after the Second World War in Germany, there were a lot of they needed to build up the country again. So it's late 50s. The Second World War was not that far. So he ended just 14 years before. So my father came in the late 50s, 58, 59 to Germany, to France, and then to Germany. They were searching for males who were able to build up the country. So because of the Second World War, last 10 years, they didn't have so many males to build up the country. They needed a lot of expertised worker or normal workers to do the work to build up companies or to do this fabric works. While Germany made contracts with Italy and Spain and also with Turkey and Morocco to search to bring workers for a short period of time. That was the plan to help build up Germany again. So Trump would say, "Make Germany great again."
And then were they on a visa? Like you said, it was going to be temporary, and then he ended up just staying.
Yes, so he received a longer contract. Then he married with my mother. So he was married to a German lady before. I have a half sister, but it doesn't work because of this cultural. I guess it was a cultural thing, and that generation. It was much more difficult than now, I would say. So now we have a huge problem of racism. We had that on that time too, but in another way. So when my father used to tell me about that time, it was in another way. They were um, very kind to other people, to foreigners, to Germans, but still stuck in the Second World War, what happened in Germany. So, and it was a bit of, we can go a bit closer, but not that close. So I can't tell you that exactly because I was not existing during that time. So then he get divorced to the mother of my half sister, and then he married my mother, and so they stayed. They also my bigger sister was born, I was born, and they stayed. We went here to school. They built up a home. You can't invite somebody to work for 10, 15 years and send them back. That doesn't work most of the time. A lot of others did that, but not the most of them. So you see that we are a multicultural country, Germany. So there's nothing. It is not colored in only white blonde people. It is diverse, and this diversity makes also the German country a bit more stronger for that understanding.
And your mom is also Moroccan.
Yes.
Okay, and they met in Germany.
No, they met in Morocco. My father brought her then to Germany in the early 70s. So
Okay.
my father migrated to Germany in 62, between 61 or 62, I think 62. I need to check that. And my mother migrated to Germany in 74.
Okay. And all of your siblings then were born in Germany.
Yes.
And you come from a large family. You come from a family of 6 kids.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit about your upbringing. From what I understand, you come from a conservative family,
Yes.
conservative Muslim family, correct? So tell me a little bit about what your upbringing was like in Germany.
Um, the thing is, my family, the longer they stayed in Germany, the more conservative they get. I guess it was the more we grow up, the more they get more conservative because they saw all the challenges. A kid is not a baby, or a small kid is not a problem in cultural differences. So we learn this and that, and everything is okay. So I was always complaining why we do not celebrate Christmas like my friends in school or in the kindergarten. So the interest, you change a little bit, and that was something which brought my parents to be more conservative, which was not that worse. So it was for me. I went out from home. I was in Germany, so and I get back home. I was in Morocco, so I grew out in between these two cultures.
And did you feel German growing up in Germany? Did you feel like you were the same?
I'm from a different generation, so I grew up in between Turkish migrants, Italian migrants, Spanish migrants. It was they all looked like me. All had darker hair. All spoke another language, and I was adapted to that because I already was speaking at home Arabic, so that was something very normal for me. I had a few German friends too in the primary school or later other schools. Um, but that was not the problem first because I grew up in that environment. Um, the first time I felt I'm not real German was when I was 15 years old and I had a discussion with one of my classmates and he broke my nose with the words, "Go back to where you come from." We were discussing about a chair, a place where we sit, and I wanted to sit there. And he said it's his place. So I said, "No, it's not your place. Your father didn't bought that for you." And then he said, "So you are not from here. You don't belong to this community." So, and he broke my nose he hit his head to my nose and said, "So you go back to where you come from." So a couple of years before he popped up, he was a member of the right-orientated party in Germany.
So that makes sense why he did that. It was already in his mind since he was a kid.
Yes, so and, we all do that what our parents teach us. So the family was also not that
Exactly.
open-minded.
And after that incident happened, was it hard for you to wrap your mind around? What was it like after he told you that?
After he told me that my nose was broken, I needed to go to the hospital and stay there. So, and it was very difficult for a 15 years old girl to have this thing in her face. That was very difficult. And I needed to wear that also for weeks, and it was very swollen. So, in that age, you are a bit more, so you take a look of how you go out and everything, and that was a bit difficult. And then I realized we and they, this saying we and they, what my parents means or meant to me, I realized the meaning of that. We are we are, and they, the blonde white persons, they have other privileges we do not have.
Interesting. And then eventually you joined the German armed forces.
Yes, it is a bit weird for a normal person. Most of the cliches you hear about the German armed forces, that all the Nazi gathering are doing very big gatherings there and celebrations. But for me, it was I watched a movie in the cinema, and the movie called Pearl Harbor. So it is full of drama and full of action and sad love story with a happy end, very patriotic. And it was for me something I was thinking about. It was early 2001. It was something what made me think about to belong to a group. There's, I just belong to a part of a group. So, because in Hanover, that is the capital from Lower Saxony, where I grew up, there were a few Moroccan families. So I never belonged to the Turkish people. I never belonged to the Spanish people. I never belonged to the Italian, and neither to the German people. So that was not my group. I was just sometimes a part of this group. And then I saw in the armed forces from this movie, I saw it doesn't matter what kind of background do you have, it doesn't matter. So you follow only your order and your mission. And then first time I had the idea that I will join the armed forces. So, and I later on, it took me a lot of time. um I did it, and I never regret that. So I'm serving now since 20 years.
And what was your family's reaction?
Ooh. When I told that, I waited. My first day my first day was 3rd of January 2005, and I waited until the last time. So after Christmas, I told my father was asking, so what are you going to do? Because I just did a school education and a training education, and I was working before on a, in a on a travel agency, which were it was a TV channel selling holidays, and so it was not so. It was a very boring work for me. So the whole day on the telephone and selling holidays. So he asked me, so what are you going to do? Do you want to change something? I said, yes, Papa, I will change something. On Monday, I will start. I will get a soldier. He said, ha 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 ha. But yes, really so. And I showed him the letter I received and my order to be in Nienburg and on Monday latest 6 o'clock, and the ticket for the train and everything. And he said, he was laughing because I was a little bit a diva. So I never went out without makeup. I had long nails, and it was very important for me. So even when I go to bring out the trash, I needed to be styled. So he said, "Okay, 3 weeks. After 3 weeks, I give you long 3 weeks. You will come back crying and never go back there." Um, but my father was wrong, and this what he told me was motivating me. And my mother told me, "What are you going to do? You will never find a husband." Later, she was right, no? So, but but that also is not that problem. And you will never find a husband. That is, our mother is very important. You get married and have a bunch of kids, and a rich man who's a doctor or a lawyer. That is the most important thing. And you are going to work only with men. What is the family in Morocco saying about that? You're going to blame us and all that typical cliche stuff. And but after I so I changed my career to an officer. And after I get my officer certificate, my father was waiting in front of my door. Allah يرحمه Ahmed, as we used to say, because he just passed away. Um, and he said, "So, where have you been?" I was waiting here since hours, and he was really waiting since hours because I have a cafe, so a coffee shop here in the same house, and the owner was serving his coffee. So, and then he told me, "So go pay the coffee and give me the certificate. I will bring it back to you." So, and he went to the Friday prayers with the certificate. And after the Friday prayers in the mosque, he asked the others, "So my daughter is an officer. What is your son doing?" "Ah, still searching for work." Okay. So he
He
was
was
very
proud.
proud. Yeah, he was very proud. That is something. The others, my uncle just called me and said me, you succeed your officer certificate. I saw it. Your father showed us to us, and the others were all they were before they were gossiping about you, and now they are all silent.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And Nadi, obviously, you're an Arab Muslim woman
Yes.
in the German armed forces.
Yeah.
That's pretty extreme. Wouldn't you
Yeah.
say?
Yes, and that is sad. Something somehow sad. That is still extreme. So
But how many were you? So, first of all, let's talk about women.
mhm.
How many women, when you entered the armed forces, what was the percentage of women, or how many of your camaraderies were women?
So in Germany, it is allowed since 2001 to serve as a woman on a weapon in Germany. So that is in the German armed forces. So when I entered the German armed forces, you found most of the female soldiers or female officers. You will get them in the medical section or on the music section. So not on the normal tank units or mechanized infantry units or special forces or something. So the percentage was very low during that time. But the German armed forces also were very big during that time. So, and if you compare it to now, we are 188,000 uniformed soldier personnel, and we just, with the civilian together, we have a percentage from 12%. We are still fighting for that. It is a challenging profession. So you need to know before that you go to crisis areas. We have the Russian-Ukrainian war in front of our door. There are a lot of other challenges in the world where you can be sent for. And you need to have a good environment, good private environment. So I have friends from my childhood still with me and a stable family. Others do not have that, and that is a problem. The divorce rate is very high. So look at me. I am also divorced, and it is special. So you need persons who give you power in the back and and a good environment, and that is something what you need to know before. So you do not go only to the office or to an exercise and come back home. So you do all the basic training. You need to give up this friendly behavior in the office. So hi guy, hi do. So there is we are very. It is an authoritative on a way of working, and and that is something with a lot of rules, and that is something what the new generation do not like that much. So it is challenging. So if you see the next generation after me, they think I can't do that. And I want to tell them, yes, so if you want to be an higher ranked officer, if you want to get educated, and if you can handle all that stuff, what is negative turn into positive. So because for me, it's when I come back home and I meet my friends or my family, it is like I went to work yesterday, so it is so you can do everything what you want. So you can go to crisis areas. You can do something good for you and for the people there. So as I did as a UN military observer, or during my time in Afghanistan, you protect your country. That is nothing what you can what you should be ashamed of that.
So you're saying the younger generation, because I feel Germany is very like very strict and very, I don't know what the word is, like Germans, I feel I've never been to Germany, but I feel like they're just very tough and very strict and and you're saying that the younger generation, they're not,
Not
they
in this
can't.
way. So they are a bit more, they like this friendly atmosphere. So if I can do something tomorrow, if I don't like that, I will not do that. So you see that only how they grow up their kids. If a 4-year-old say, I don't want to wear that, I don't want to eat that, they give them everything what they need. So without rules, so you need to find yourself and all that stuff. Maybe it's good. For me, our rules good. So, and it brought me forward. So, and I do not stick to the same person I was 10 years before or 20 years before. So, or I need to wake up 2 hours before. So it was something what brought me forward. I have more self time and I just care about the most important things. So if
Which
my
are what?
So this is a lot of examples. So if my nephew asks me for a birthday, I ask him, "What do you want for your birthday?" And he tell me, "I want a new Nintendo game." I tell him, "No, I buy you a book." So or you need that is something, or you need, no, we don't do that, we go to the zoo together. They need to spend time with me, because I think memories and having a good time is better than a Nintendo game sticking together back home, watching into the monitor and playing stupid games. So that
Uh,
doesn't bring you forwards. That is my, but it also maybe an old thinking, because I'm another generation.
I completely agree with you. I think experiences are much more important than materialistic things for sure. So going back really quick to women in the armed forces, how many Arabs were there?
So I can't tell you that, because you need to have a German passport if you also a German nationality if you join the armed forces. So that's why I can't tell you a number. I can just tell you that we have more than 5,000 Muslim soldiers in the armed forces. More than 300 Jewish soldiers. So if you see that with our history in the German armed forces, and a lot of other religions like Sikhs, Hindus, and so on. It is already a diverse institution. So every third kid which is born in Germany now have a migration background, statistically. So statistically, you have a migration background if one of your parents it was not born in Germany. So then you have a statistically migration background. If you are a second generation born in Germany, so my niece, her father was born, my brother was born in Germany, and her mother was born in Germany. She do not have a statistically German migration background.
So once you have a first generation, so the second generation would not be an
Yeah.
immigrant
So
background.
that's why I can't tell you the number of how
Yeah.
many Arabs. I met a lot, and it's always a nice meeting when I meet somebody who have also an Arabic background. I was serving more than 2 years in Egypt in the German embassy there as a part of the the defense attaché staff, and one time I had a comrade there. He had We're there for an exchange with the Egyptians, and he also had an Arabic background. And it was very funny that when he arrived, that he was also able to talk at the airport. Normally, I had to pick them up, and he was also able to talk at the airport with a with the public there, and he didn't need any help from me. So that was very nice. And sometimes you stay with them in the last corner, and you can gossiping about some stupid other people in Arabic, which is also very funny.
Yeah. How is your Arabic? Is it fluent?
So I speak fluently Moroccan Arabic, Darija,
Okay.
and a very good Egyptian Arabic
Okay. And then obviously German and English.
too. Yes, and several other languages too.
Oh, which ones?
So I grew up with a lot of Turkish, Spanish, Italian people, and a lot of people from Afghanistan, because that was also the time when we had a lot of refugees from Afghanistan, Iran. So I speak Dari, Pashto, and Farsi.
Wow, that's incredible.
Not that fluently now, because it's also languages you need to practice. So I need to be thrown in an Farsi environment. So I will speak also Farsi.
Chidori.
Yeah. So everything in a very long way.
Yeah.
And then Afghan background, but that was more fluently when I was in posted in that area.
Yeah, languages, if you don't use them, you lose them.
Yes, but you get every time attached. If you learn them as a kid, it's something in your brain still works, so you remember that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think if you go back, it'll come back to you as well.
Mm.
For sure. Yeah. Let's talk about your ranking. I don't know much about the army because you started, I guess, in the army and then you became an officer and
Mhm.
then a lieutenant. Is that the order?
I started in the army, so now
Okay.
I'm a German Navy officer. I started in the army as a non-commissioned. So first I was a normal soldier and I was a private. Then I made some education, so I was able to have a non-commissioned rank until sergeant. That I guess is OR. So OR are the acronyms for other ranked.
Okay.
Other OR 5 or 6, I guess. I need to check that. And then I worked in a very nice environment. It was civil military cooperation. And I was about to leave the armed forces after 10 years in 2015. And and it was a very nice environment. And he asked me, "You don't want to get a professional, and maybe you want to change your career to an officer." And I looked at him and said, "Okay, let's give it a try. So maybe they pick me." So and it's very few that an other ranked person will get promoted and have the chance to get promoted to an officer. So you need to also conduct the training to make the officer school and all that other stuff, and it's not easy. And so I requested that. I sent my application for that, and after 8 months, I received the answer. So I was already a professional. 2000 during, and it was also very nice. So when I get my certificate as a professional, I was it was a refugee crisis in 2015, and I was in a helping refugee environment. So we had doctors from the armed forces, and I was a translator for the doctors for the medical section. And then my commander from Nienburg showed up and gave me the certificate that I am a professional. And after 8 months, I received also the answer that I will get promoted to an officer. I have the chance to make this officer career too. And but then they changed me into Navy. So you can tell them you don't want to change your uniform. And I said, no, I can change that. So and then they changed me to a Navy. So I made all the naval trainings and which were required during that time, and now I'm a naval officer. As an officer, you have your ensign, later you are a lieutenant. Now I'm in the rank of lieutenant commander.
And so that's your current
Yes.
position. And you wrote a book
Yes.
called Ich dien Deutschland, which translates to, that was probably a horrible accent, but it translates to I serve Germany. I tried to get it, but it's not translated into English. I think
No.
it's only available in German. Why did you write the book?
It was during a time, so the German armed forces were not that popular during that time. The German society have I would say, because of history, also they have a not good relation to their armed forces, and it was about if there were a lot of situations, I always were asked. So when you go into the supermarket after work, I'm still wearing my uniform, and somebody touches his shoulder and say, "Oh, you are really in the army, or you are a member of the armed forces?" I said, "Yes, it's not Carnival, it's June. I'm just coming from work, and I need something for dinner. That's why I'm in the supermarket." Ah, okay. And then they ask you, you wearing a German flag, right, left, arm, side, on your head, and they ask you from where you come from. Where you come from? I say, from here, from Hanover. No, no, from where you really come from.
Mm.
And I would, so sometimes I had the feeling I need to tell them a couple of bad words. I would not say no. And then, so look at me, I'm wearing a German uniform. What do you think from where I come from? You know, I was born in Germany. No, I don't know from where you really come from. And sometimes, I do not have that much attention, and I tell them from a boat from the Mediterranean Sea. I just survived. That's why I'm a naval officer. That's why the name German Navy took me.
Yeah.
Or American German American comedian used to say in Germany, out from my mother. So, and sometimes if I have the patience here, I tell them, so my parents are from Morocco. It is something. If somebody asks you from where you really come from, it is something. So I tell them from Germany, because I was born in Germany. I am from Germany, and it is something he implement that you are lying to him when you tell them I'm from Germany, and he said, no, no, from where you really come from. He do not believe you, and so what are you doing? You are serving for your for the German country, for the German flag. You would give your life for that, and then they still ask you, where are you really from? That is something embarrassing for me. And and I'm a female, so I'm a woman. I have a Arabic background too, and I'm a Muslim, like you said before. And the combination is for a lot of people very weird. So women are serving now more than 20 years in the German armed forces, and longer in the medical section, and so on. And so we are still far away from gender equality in thinking. So that is something what make me angry. And there are a lot of topics, not only this well, from where you're really from, this racism environment. The atmosphere is going more right, but I guess you feel it also where you live. It is. I don't know why. It makes me a bit afraid about the future. The relation with the with the armed forces, why they do not get that money what they need, and that stuff what they need, and religion, with how important is religion when you're doing such a job. It is very important. It's not only when you go when you pass away during a fight or something. It is also when you are far away and some a member of your family or some of your loved ones pass away, or you have some problems back home, or you are just afraid about the situation where you are. Sometimes it's religious support important, and Germany is very far away from a Muslim imam in the armed forces, which is also a topic in this book. And I wanted to start a debate, which started after I published this book. How diverse we are, why we do not show that, and why we are not proud of that. So that was something what I wanted to do in this book, and it was successful.
That's what my question was gonna be. How did they take it? How did people accept the message?
It was surprisingly, before it was published, I had a lot of support from the press. I had a lot of support of the media, and they gained a lot of interest, and it was 4 months on the bestseller list here in Germany. So, which was very surprisingly, when my book agent called me and told me that, it was very surprisingly a good surprise for me. So, and it
Yeah.
was very successful.
That's great. It's I'm that person because I'm Brazilian and
Mhm.
I live in America. I've lived in America most of my life, but I'm that person that when I see somebody, I'm like, where are you really from? But not in a bad way, because I love people from all over the world and I'm always interested. But when you get that question, where are you really from? It wasn't a positive one, right?
No, you're wearing this uniform. You just come back from a mission in Afghanistan. You're wearing this uniform. You risked your life, so your family was afraid of you. You survive or something. And this pushing you quick from people you do not know. They come from a supermarket. You're standing on the lane to pay. And they ask you from where you really from. So what the hell is your problem?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
who are you to ask me such a personal question?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm German, damn it.
I have a German uniform on it. I'm wearing this German flag. I just risked my life for
Yeah.
you. And
Yeah.
so accept that when I say I'm from Hannover, I'm German.
Yeah. Wow. Well, good for you for writing that book. And
White, blonde, blue-eyed.
right.
That was never this case. We are
Yeah.
far away. We just celebrated 80 years Hitler's death. So not the death of Hitler, but you know what I mean. So that's the end of the Second World War.
Yeah.
We celebrated this part of this bad German history, and it's still very important to ask somebody who do not look like a stereotype German, or where you really from. So you never know. Maybe he just colored, or she just colored her hair, or it is something, or she do not know. You
Yeah.
no, that is a personal question. It is so I I know a lot of women who are not able to get pregnant. So and if another woman come there and bother them, why you do not have kids? Why you don't want to have kids? You are so and they do not stop. That is something embarrassing. But if I
Yeah.
say I'm German and I want to I am German, so accept that. That is something I need to answer because I know I didn't mean that in that way. Accept that I'm German. So you can ask me, do you have another heritage? From where are your parents from or your grandparents? It is a way, language, how you use your language is a key.
Hmm.
If I ask you politely, it is something with a smile on my face or something. It is different than I give an order.
Yeah. Yeah. Understood. Yeah. So, Nadi, this podcast is obviously about Arabs and the MENA region. Let's talk about a little bit about that. Did you used to go home a lot to, or home? Did you used to go to Morocco a lot growing up, or not really?
During my childhood, we went there every summer break for the 6 weeks. We had schools out uh, with a full packed car. When I grew up and I joined the armed forces, it was more seldom because if you visit your Arabic family, it is not good only to go for a week or 10 days. You need to
Mm,
have minimum a month because you need to have lunch with him, dinner with them. Then you need to stay with your aunt minimum 3 days. Then you need to see your cousin and the other cousin, and then you attend this wedding and this engagement and this. So, and if you don't do that, you just want to go and visit your grandmother. That is something. How she dare? She came here and then she do not have time for us. So it is a bit was challenging for my job a bit. Last time I was in Morocco was okay. Obviously last year for 3 days. Really, 2018 I was last time for a bit longer in Morocco.
okay. But you've traveled, you said you worked a little bit in Egypt,
Yes.
right? And where else have you been posted in the MENA region?
Just in Egypt. I mean, the
Just
MENA
in Egypt.
region was just in, yes, I was in South Sudan, Mediterranean Sea. I did that, sea help there for the mandate we had because of the refugee crisis. But that was on sea. Um, just in Egypt, I learned a lot about differences in Arabic cultures. Yes, yes, there are differences between the Moroccan culture and the Egyptian culture. A lot of so.
Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, the food in Morocco is more better. I swear,
Okay.
really more better. Even the Egyptians used to say that the Moroccan food is much better than their food. Um, they're a bit more conservative. When I see Moroccans living in Morocco, they are more open-minded. In Egypt, they are more conservative, even in Cairo. So you do not have the middle way. So I never met the middle way. You just have this more religious, more traditional way. A lot of females are still wearing the niqab, which is very, for me, even as a Muslim, it's very weird. I was a member of fitness club, a female fitness club. They're just separating every time females and males. I had a personal training, and the trainer went in, and she was wearing a niqab, and I was okay, so how she want to train me? So, and then she closed the door, she took everything up, and I saw her behind the curtain, I would say. So it is something where they stick very much to that thing. They are still in the old traditions more than the Moroccans are. From and then they have this I do not care about everything part of people, and they're more open-minded. And what means more open-minded?
They
And the-
who? The Moroccans?
no, the Egyptians. So they have two
Okay.
kinds of people. They have nothing in between. So I never
Okay.
met that. Maybe they have, but I never met that. So if you see in Morocco, some Moroccans, if they see somebody from working there, have the same background, only during Ramadan, they come and invite you, and they do not let you go out. For Egyptians, it's only with Egyptians they are in this way. So that what I saw there. So and that is a huge difference for me there. So in Morocco, so if you are in a political discussion, uh, it is never in public, so you need to be a part of this group. But they would also complain about the king and the system and everything. In Egypt, no.
Hmm.
So that is something also very different.
Interesting. I didn't know that Egypt was as that conservative. Well, you said there's nothing in the middle, so it's kind of both extremes.
Yeah, so what you see in the movies is more the Coptic uh,
Mm.
society there, the Christians, which are a minority in Egypt, but very respected. Um, so they have these nice houses, they have these nice dresses and everything. That is what you see in the movie. What you see in the reality is completely different.
Nadi, you're also an advocate for diversity and tolerance against ethnic stereotypes, right? And racism. Can you talk a little bit about that and how you see that? How Arabs, there's they do have a stereotype, which is one of the reasons that I'm doing this podcast, and just the dehumanization of them.
It is now when you see in Germany it's happened something. It's always the bad Arabs did that. The bad terrorists did that. So um, it is. So you have a shield on your forehead, was written, you are a member of a terroristic organization automatically. So you do not need to tell them. They ask you which background do you have. You say Moroccan, so you are 9/11. It's your fault. Uh, there is something which is very unfair. So since 2015, we had this migration, this very huge refugee crisis. So, and since the war is over in Syria, so the voice is getting louder. So then they can return back home. So also they have built their existence in Germany. Also, they have kids educated in the school. The kids have friends. They have their secure environment. And to bring that together with terrorists is something very embarrassing and dangerous for our country, also for Germany. So why you bring racism against? Why you have such an Islamophobia? Why you have such a why you let such a hate against Arabic people have place? So that is something what I do not understand. And every party, so if you see that only on the last elections, before the elections we had, when they just were in February, every party took that to put it as a topic. No, we will returning them back home. So, and it is something which make me also sad because they do not see the people behind that background.
Mm,
They do not
mm,
see the woman who lost two kids, or the two kids who lost their mother during they were on this tiny boat over the Mediterranean Sea. and the last wish from the mother is bring you go and live secure. So there's something respectless against people, and so I started to make discussions. I was invited to a lot of very famous or and important meetings to discuss that. Our former chancellor, former chancellor, we need to say that Angela Merkel. She have a small circle. She do that once a year. The Integrationsgipfel called. It's a conference for organizations who are fighting for equality with the culture against racism, and she do this conference and discuss the topics and take this. She did that and took some topics away from that. So it is a very important work.
I saw, first of all, I did see your picture with Angela Merkel online, so I thought that was very cool. Yeah, I agree, and I think it's the West, and again, this is why I'm doing this podcast, because there is that dehumanization of Arabs. They're always the terrorists and the jihadists, and that's so far from the truth. And in a way, I feel bad because you can't blame these people because they don't know any better. They've been brainwashed by the media to think a certain way. And most people have never met an Arab. They've never, or not most, but a lot of people in my country, I'm speaking in America, especially in the middle America, they've never met an Arab. They've never met a Muslim. And so the only ideas they have of them are the ones that they see in the media. And so you and I, we're both trying to do the same thing, which is great. Humanize Arabs. At the end of the day, we all bleed red. We all have the same desires and needs and wants. All of us just want to be healthy, have a healthy family, have a roof over our heads, food to eat, water to drink, the bare minimum. We're all humans. And this is the whole message of my podcast. We're all one. We're all humans. So cheers to you for that.
Thank you for doing that.
Yes, amazing. The more the more the merrier. So we all have to come together and make changes.
Yes.
So Nadi, before you go, what message would you like to give the West? I mean, we kind of just talked about it, but if we can wrap it up, what message would you like to give the West about Arabs or the MENA region? Anything you want to, that last message that you want to share?
So I would like to share two messages. So the first message is also to the new generation with Arabic background, females with an Arabic background. So do not let somebody tell you you are not part of the community. You can do everything. You are strong, and you need to be. The problem is you need to be stronger, but that is not only a problem. It is also a chance to show the rules you have, because I saw that only with Arabic background, so that the females can do everything and have the power to do that. So your parents or grandparents achieved a lot when they left the country, and they showed a lot of encourage, and you can do minimum half of that in your environment. So do that. If you want to be an officer, you can be an officer. If you want to be a politician, have interest for politics, it's very important also for me that I see more politicians with an Arabic background or Muslim background in the media, in the parliaments, everywhere in the world. Encourage yourself. And females, please bring more females into the parliaments. It is very, very important. So that is one of the messages. The second message I would share with the West is that if you see a Muslim, respect him like he or she respect you. So if somebody tell me I'm going to celebrate Christmas, but I'm on duty and I can take the duty, I would say yes. Come, I take the duty. Go with your family and celebrate this important event for you. And even my comrade would do that for me in the end of Ramadan or for Eid al-Adha. It is to share more respect. Share more respect, and if you respect, then hate do not have any place there. Arabs or the people with Arabic backgrounds and the Muslim backgrounds are also humans.
Yes, they are. I can't believe that it's 2025 and we still need to tell people.
It is sad. It is so sad, really. I have a niece, the daughter from my brother, and he said so. She will get the family name from my sister-in-law, because then she will not have that problems. My sister-in-law is have a typical German family name, and that is something. And my niece, if you see her, you can't see the Arabic background on the first sight. You need to to search for that, and it's so sad that we need to think about that. Or what have we learned only from the Second World War or all the other wars we have in the world? Discrimination, hate against another ethnic do not bring us forward. Just bring deaths and sadness and a dark atmosphere. We do.
Yeah, and what's that teaching that little girl that they have to she has to erase that part of who she is, right? So what are we teaching that we have to hide who we are? I think
That,
we all need to be proud of who we are.
yes, and that is not right. So we can be proud of that. So you have. So and Darija in Moroccan Arabic, you when somebody asks me, I would say, so okay, um I'm a German with Shabi in my heart. So Shabi and Regada in my heart. So that's music. It's a music style in
Mhm.
Morocco. Shabi and Regada. Regada is from the side of my parents,
Okay.
from the west and the east part of Morocco, and so it is this. Something you can show. I'm not able to cook any German food. I can only cook Moroccan food. Your experience with the food, with the music, with the cultural background, how you treat people when they visit you. There are so many things to explore, and that makes this world so rich. And with hate, you can't explore anything.
I think we should end it right there because with hate we can't. What did you say? With hate we can't what?
We can't explore anything.
We can't explore anything.
So
Yes.
you just give your with hate, you just give yourself borders.
Natty, thank you so much for coming on One in Tribe. I loved getting to know you. And inshallah, we meet soon in the future, whether in Germany or Morocco, in Egypt, who knows?
So you are always welcome to Germany. So you need to come. You come around with Claudia. We make a big party.
That would be fun.
Yes,
Yes, our
that
mutual
would
friend.
be funny. Yes.
Yes, awesome. Hi, Claudia. I know you're watching. Okay, Natty, thank you so much. And yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time.